Hey, everybody. Kimberly Lynn and Whitney Christina here, episode 2 of our podcast. And we are going to be talking about combating and overcoming imposter syndrome as a brand new or restarting hypnotist, right? If you've really just gotten certified, or maybe you haven't seen a lot of clients and you're feeling that feeling like I'm not a real hypnotist and I shouldn't be doing this. We're going to talk about that today. So let's get started.
Hey, you brought up something really good, Kimberly. I was talking with somebody just the other day, and this person has been doing hypnosis um, for over 20 years. And he is just starting to get back into the hypnosis business. He's been doing other things, and he sat across the table from me and was looking at me like, I don't know what to do. I know I have my certification. I know I have my degree. He even has a degree in
Mm.
hypnosis. But, he's starting from 20 years back. He's trying to get the pricing in his head from 20 years ago. And I think the first thing that you all need to know is your own worth, right? And your own worth starts with this education that you've given yourself and that you've gotten and that you've taken to get here. Um, you have done a lot of certification. I know in our certification training, we do at least 100 hours just to get started. And that's more than a lot of other hypnosis trainings go. You
Hmm.
have life experience and you just need to know your worth. What do you think about that, Kim?
I love it. I wrote it down. I wrote know your worth. I think it's so important. And I think you're absolutely right. I think that is really the number one thing is that we tend to think that or feel. I think actually when it comes to feelings and emotions and thoughts, when we feel uncomfortable emotions, it's because we're cognitively in dissonance with what we know to be true when we're feeling it. So I know that most people that are feeling imposter syndrome know that they should be valuing themselves more, know that what they're doing is really valuable to people and worthy, but it doesn't feel that way because they maybe haven't done it very much or at all, or they just got started. They don't have a lot under their belt, or it might have been a really long time. And so I agree with you. I think you need to know your worth. So, how do you think, what can some people do to help them remember their worth?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I was just going to say, um, a little list. First of all, write down how much time you invested in your hypnosis certification. Write down how much time you've invested in any other type of degree or certification that you have, because all of that adds to who you are. Also, you need to see what other hypnotists in your area are charging and what they do
Yep.
so that you can say, wait a minute, I graduated when this person graduated and they're at $300 an hour.
Yep.
So I know at least what they know, and I have this experience and I have this experience. Only you know your worth. And I got to tell you, once you get your worth in here, nobody's going to be able to take it away from you. And imposter syndrome is just thinking, well, I know who I was, um, and this is who people think I am. Like maybe you tell your brother or your son or something that you're going to do hypnosis, and they knew you when you were cleaning up after
Yep.
them with your macaroni and cheese. So they think, well, your macaroni and cheese value, right?
Yeah.
And they can't look at you with your worth to the outside world, the change that you're going to make. Let's be real, you're changing lives. You're changing
Yep.
lives. So if you were a doctor and you were changing somebody's life, how much would you be worth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think our close friends and family, when we go from something like, let's just be real here. We're hypnotists and we're talking to hypnotists. There is a very real perception that hypnosis isn't just woo woo, but it's you're a kook. It's especially with maybe if you've been watching movies and TV, or if you know or are related to somebody who's maybe in the licensed mental health field. It's just like doctors and chiropractors from 80 years ago, 90 years ago. Chiropractors were considered total quacks. When I was growing up, my mother, the daughter of a traditional family doctor from the 40s and 50s, told me never go see a chiropractor. And this was like in 1995. And then 5 years later, we were all going to see chiropractors. But she grew up thinking that chiropractors were total kooks. And I really think that that is a very real unspoken thing. And so when you become a hypnotist after being a like legitimate uh, profession like massage therapy or office management or whatever it is you were doing before you became a hypnotist, and you step into this kind of not legitimate field, your loved ones are possibly the worst critics. Everybody else, I think, is going to be much more accepting of that because they didn't know you before. But especially your family and friends, they are going to absolutely, it could be, some of them are going to be really, really supportive, but some of them are going to look at you like you're a kook. And I will tell you, my kids were the worst ones. I said, hey, let me hypnotize you when I came home. And they couldn't stop laughing at me, so it never really worked. And so you got to know that they love you, but they're not going to be necessarily the most able to see you in this new light that you really have transformed into. They're just not used to it yet. They'll get there. Eventually, they'll be like, my mom's cool. She does hypnosis. Your dad just is an accountant, blah, 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 right? You'll soon be the coolest person in the room. But at first, it can be really, really hard. And friends and family are some of the hardest to convince.
Yeah, true. My sons, one of them tells me I have trouble sleeping.
Okay. A hypnotist.
Yeah, yeah. Or the other one, I have some anxiety about going to this new community where I have to start all over and I just am not sleeping well. And
Yep.
I'm like, it's not like a board certified
Right.
hypnotist that helps people with this every
Right.
day.
Yes.
Right.
And I will
But
say, usually I would say don't try and work with your family members, especially, I mean, I just don't, even
yeah,
if you want to help them and you can. The truth is that a very great person once said, and I believe this to be true most of the time, and it's not about like overconfidence and it's not about fake confidence, but hypnosis is a confidence game. The person
yeah,
that you're working in hypnosis with, your partner that you're guiding into hypnosis, has to have absolute confidence that you know what you're doing, that you're a professional, and they have to feel safe. They have to completely trust you. There has to be absolute trust, and your kids are never going to be that way. And neither is your
yeah,
spouse, because you are also part of the problem with your spouse. Because let's be real, we are the ones, when we're in relationship with someone like that. I mean, and we're not talking about ethics here about working with people that we know, but literally, if you've had strife and conflict with a person in the past, you're part of the problem that they're trying to heal. It's going to
right,
be almost impossible for them to open up to you. So, as much
right.
as we want to help, um, maybe we can teach our loved ones some self hypnosis, but really when it
Yeah,
comes to the one-on-one work, our loved ones don't don't I think is the
yeah.
best course of action.
My my next sentence to my kids were my best friend was also who's also a
Yep.
hypnotist. She's also board certified. Like, and not only do you have me, but you have her, and
Mhm.
she will work with you and she will do all the things. So it's just, so I guess I'm surviving a little bit of,
Yeah.
oh, it's another thing that mom got into.
Yes,
But,
yes. Yes, and the longer
but
you're in it, the more they're going to trust you, the more they're going to take
yeah,
your advice on it, but still don't work with them. I think that's a bad idea.
yeah,
I always try and refer out as well.
yeah.
Okay, so imposter syndrome, we're talking about ways that you can combat it.
So let me give you
Remember
this
your
other
worth.
idea.
Say that
Yeah,
again.
remember your worth. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over you because I had this other thing I wanted to talk about. Um, So we're talking about don't work with your family. They're not going to be your best source of referrals. You know what you need to do if you're just starting out? You need to go out and you need to gift your sessions to somebody and make them feel really good. It's going to
Yes.
do a couple of things for you. You're going to practice, right? So you'll get confidence in yourself, and then they're going to write you a Google review. And that Google review is going to say wonderful things about you because you are a professional. You know what you're doing. You just need some practice. So, um, I would recommend finding 10 people that you say, hey, you're having trouble sleeping. I can help with that. Hey, you're having trouble with whatever it is. You just want something light and easy that you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
just to, again, give them something
Yeah.
so that they can give you a good Google review and give you something so that you have the confidence in yourself. So layering all the all the investment in yourself that you have done in all the different ways and all the different things that you've done,
Yeah.
and then have people that are not your family say good things about you,
Yeah.
that is going to level up your confidence in yourself. So you were saying exactly, you have to have confidence in yourself and your clients have to have confidence in you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, you were exactly right. You didn't interrupt. I think you're exactly right because another saying I really love is confidence comes from doing. Many different researchers, not just Cal Banyan, say confidence comes from doing. There's a lot of research in the field of grit by Angela Duckworth, talking about how, you know, the how to get resilient and perseverant over a long term to reach a goal. That's what grit is. And in that book, which is a fantastic book, um, she does talk about confidence, and she talks about passion and how you can figure out what it is you want to do, and things like that. In the book, she's basically saying that you've got to do something and grow in it, and get some experience in it to feel confident in it. Nobody feels confident the very first time, even if they did a really good job, because experience and having experience under your belt leads to more and more accurate levels of confidence where you feel very capable. So there is the kind of confidence where the first point you were making is it's about understanding your worth. That's an inner confidence that no matter if I make mistakes, no matter if I'm not perfect, and nobody's perfect, I'm still good, and I can go do a good job. And then what I hear you saying about giving out, 10 sessions is that confidence also comes from doing and experience and being successful at something, because an independent feedback is really going to go, and you doing a good job and feeling like they got good results, that's just going to go a long way. So, two different kinds of confidence there. Both
Yep.
are needed, I think, to overcome that feeling of am I just pretending? Am I really a hypnotist, or am I just playing at it? That imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I think really helps with imposter syndrome is if you have a plan, right?
Hmm.
So what do I mean when I say if you have a plan? Um, I think as a new hypnotist coming out of the gates, I was very much a process person and I needed to know, okay, so here's what I'm going to do my first day. Here's what I'm going to do my second day. When I get my first client, here's the prep work that I'm going to do. And so once I've
Yes.
done that prep work for the first client, then that prep work is kind of cookie cutter. It's the same kind of prep work that you do for each client. But if
Yeah.
you have a process for everything, it gives you more confidence. Okay, I've done this. Now I know I'm going to do this. Now I know I'm going to do this. Where we got our certification, there is a process, and we with HypnoPro Accelerator also have a process. So if you
Mhm.
don't know what steps next, and you just need to get your bearings and say, okay, what is logical, what is easy, it calms the butterflies down when you know
Yeah.
what to do next, and you'll realize you knew what to do next. You just needed some help, maybe a community or something like that that you could reach out to and say, what do
Yeah.
I do next?
I totally agree with you. If you are sitting and not know how to grow your business, you're not going to feel very confident about it, because you don't know what direction you're oriented, right? You don't know what you don't know. If you can do a little research, learn something, and make a plan and start making steps towards that always is going to lead to more confidence. And then it makes me think also, there you are sitting in a session. If you didn't make a plan before you sat down with that person, if you didn't know what you were going to do or essentially what you were going to do, and you're just flying by the seat of your pants, that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
a lot of brand new hypnotists, if they don't get the kind of certification training where they have a system or a plan, they're getting that feeling. And so I want to encourage them to, you know, get really good at whatever it is that you love and do, and make sure that you can use that really, really well. So in essence, that becomes your plan always.
Mm.
But if you're lucky enough to have a certification where you have a plan, you have a system, that's always so really
Yeah. Yeah.
good. Yeah. Oh man, I was having another thought. Keep going. I'm sure it'll come back to me. What else do you have for us, Whitney? What else do you think? What
So,
about,
I
oh, I
just
have a thought. I have a
go, go.
question. What if you've been doing hypnosis and you've been doing the free sessions and you've been doing all the stuff, but you're still feeling not very confident? You're still feeling like you're a fake. You're still feeling that imposter syndrome. So let's just say that should be feeling confident or more confident at that point, but you're not. What do you think?
You know, I'm a hypnotist and I do hypnosis every day. And my first thing that I'm going to say in that is you need to hypnotize yourself and give yourself that boost of confidence that you're going to give to anybody else that would walk into your door looking for the same thing. You're no
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
except for that you can do it for yourself. We have, I use the self hypnosis taught by our certification group. And I'll tell you what, every time I have imposter syndrome, I just start saying that and it goes away. It goes away. You're going to feel the way you feel until you overcome the issue. That's what you do in
Yeah.
hypnosis, right? You
Yeah.
find the
I
root
agree with you.
cause and reframe it. So you
Yeah.
need to do that for yourself as well, and be kind and gentle with yourself, and really, really celebrate. I was going to say support yourself, but celebrate all the things that you have done. And that's why I suggest at the beginning that you list all the things that you have done, because
Yeah.
all the things that you have done have gotten you to the path where you're the hypnotist that you are, and you can help the group of people that you can help. And without all of that, you wouldn't be who you are, and you wouldn't be able to change the people that you can, reach the people
Yeah.
you can.
I agree with you. I think that if you are not feeling confident let me just back up and say, one of the things I wrote down that I wanted to share is everybody feels this way, is that
Yes.
you're not abnormal. This is a totally normal feeling because you don't have the experience. You have all the knowledge, but not the experience. And so, if you go through the steps, these simple steps that we're outlining, you should build confidence. But then, if you're not, there's likely something going on. And it doesn't mean, again, that there's anything wrong with you. What it means is there's probably some garbage from the past that needs to be taken care of that's really blocking your ability to feel an accurate level of healthy confidence about your skills, that's clouding your judgment when it comes to and making you see something different when someone's telling you that they're getting really great and you're seeing really great results, but you're still not
Yeah.
feeling good about it. There's probably just something going on. And again, that's a universal experience that all humans have. Everybody's got inner garbage. So just take care of it. Self-hypnosis is a great way, but there's also other hypnotists can help you.
Right.
Um,
Right.
that you can
You
find
could
that
even
might
reach out to
be.
one in the group.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. I tell all my clients personally that that feeling of inadequacy, that a lot of people come in with, that keeps them from speaking up, doing the thing that they want to do. I say this is universal, but it's also 100% of the time not accurate. Tell it to take a hike every time you feel that inadequate feeling, because the truth is that you're supposed to do it, you're meant to do it. I believe that you're going to be able to do it. It doesn't mean you have all the skills. You might need more skills, you might need to grow, you might need to learn. But the truth is that inadequate has to do more with worth than it has to do with skill. And so whenever you feel inadequate, I just tell it to take a hike, because it's just not true. So I want to and add one more thing and then I'll let you respond, is I think that one thing that everybody can do, and this is what I tell my clients too, is use the rule of 3, which is if you hear yourself saying or feeling anything that's really not true, that you're not good at your job or that you anything that's inaccurate or unkind or untrue, you need to follow it up with 3 true things that really go to the heart, that
Nice.
are the antidote, the antithesis of that negative self-talk, because even hypnotists can have negative self-talk. And one of the things that you absolutely have to do if you want to overcome any kind of imposter syndrome or inadequacy is you cannot allow yourself to not respond to any of those automatic negative self-talk lies that we tell ourselves about ourselves.
Yep, absolutely. I I just I sit here and I am amazed by your brilliance. And
Oh, thanks.
you do it in
You
such
too.
a kind and loving way. Um, but if you were your client, that's how I look at it.
Yep,
If you were your client, would you allow your client to say the things to themselves that you're saying to yourself?
exactly.
No,
Exactly.
no.
And if you're having trouble coming over it again, reach out to another hypnotist. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. Everybody has inner garbage that they need to work on.
yep.
So I totally agree. That's awesome.
Doctors go to doctors.
Therapists
Therapists
go to
get
therapy.
therapy.
Yes, yeah.
Hypnotists. This is where you can step out in your story and say, I was frozen in fear with imposter syndrome and I could not move forward. And here's how I overcame it. So, yeah, I know it works. So, you are now talking from a place of authority.
Yep.
So, yeah, I feel good.
Absolutely. I love it.
Cue James
Um,
Brown.
that's right. I feel good. That song? Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel good. Love it.
Na, 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 na,
So,
na.
I think we're about to wrap up. Yes? Are we about done
Yeah,
with
we're
this
good. Yeah.
episode? Fantastic. Okay, I want to add one more thing. I'm going to put it in the show notes, but one of my favorite resources outside of our amazing community on Facebook and this podcast, if you're struggling with confidence, if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, and you want to hear an amazing TED Talk, I always recommend this TED Talk to people. There is a TED Talk, I can't remember the title of it, by Dr. Amy Cuddy, and it'll be in all the show notes. Go watch this TED Talk about confidence, imposter syndrome, and how you can use your body to overcome feelings of insecurity, inadequacy, and lack of confidence. It's a really powerful thing. And it's just another tool that you can use that maybe as hypnotists, we're more about changing from the mind down, but you can also change your state from the body up. And so it's a really great YouTube video or TED Talk to check out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we will be coming back in about a week with another episode. And we are HypnoPro Accelerator. We just help you excel at the business of professional hypnosis. So see you later, everybody.
See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.